Welcome back. Change of plans from where I left off last episode. So I thought last time that I could make osmiridium, but actually, the dust needs an LUV mixer. So I can't actually get to Aurellia without being in LUV. And that kind of confused me for a second because I was like, how do I get neodymium then? But I totally forgot I already have neodymium. Not for bastnasite or monazite, but from small piles. Because you can get small piles from rare earth. And I have passive rare earth from a chicken. Yeah, I totally just confused myself at the end over there. So today is not going to be me going after the Gaia Guardian. Today is instead going to be me trying to get to the assembly line. Because I can make this at the end of IV, and I need it for LUV parts. Motors, pumps, conveyors, everything for LUV is made in an assembly line. So I need this first before I can continue on to any of the other final progression tasks. Before assembly line though, I want to place the machines that I have constructed. I made a bunch of large material presses. These count as 4 different machines based on the operating mode. And there's a pretty nice wall share for double sharing these. So I just share this entire rectangular section. And I mirror this and I put it on the other side, which is pretty handy. Actually thinking about it some more, before actually placing all the machines, I do need to clear up the space over here. And before I do that, I would like to have all the machines in storage. So I'm going to spend a whole bunch of time just crafting up machine parts and probably upgrading my power output because 12 amps of IV is starting to not be enough. Also, by the way, I made 4 more combustion engines, but this is also not really enough. I might need to swap these out for extreme combustion engines. Anyway, I'm going to continue with making a bunch of multis. Oh boy, rewiring this whole area is going to be less than fun. I think in GTNH what I did was I added a whole new building and then I put machines in there. But ripping this up and replacing them in place, not the right call. Definitely not the right call. I'm committed to it though at this point, so I'm just gonna do it. But next time, whatever the next mod pack is, Star Technology, I will not be doing it like this. Also unfortunate, but it seems that multi-blocks can't be reflected. So the wall share that I thought I was going to get with some of these multis is not actually possible, so it's fine. Unshared multis, it's fine. I don't mind. Oh my god, that was a lot of building. As far as I'm aware, there is no hologram projector or anything like that to automatically build multis, so I had to do every single one by hand, which is fine. I always wanted to do every multi by hand, but I only ever wanted to do them once. And I had to do them more than once, and this was a lot of kind of repetitive and not really visually distinct multis. I mean, they're all kind of the same shape, and they even kind of use a lot of the same blocks. It's just a different texture. That's basically it. Most of the shapes are kind of the same. One thing that I discovered that was really sad was the solidifiers. You cannot make the input hatches and buses distinct for some reason. And you also can't even put the mold inside of the hatch input slot. So that's probably why there is no distinct buses option, but really gonna make me make multiple solidification thingies just for each type of mold. That's kind of stupid. Anyway, that's all done. Yeah, everything has been multified except for the circuit assembler, which makes sense because I need LUV components to make the multi. and the alloy smelter, which doesn't have a multi-block variant. So I'm stuck using single blocks forever. Luckily it doesn't see that much use, so it should be fine. But oh my god, this took a while. This took a long time. Every single one of these, except for the LCRs, I guess, has a parallel hatch as well. So everything's doing 4 parallels for now. The next tiers of parallel hatches are very easy to install. I just swap out the hatch. And it's not that expensive. It's a little expensive when I first unlock it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's fine. Well, it's all done. I've been looking forward to this. Now, my goal for today is the assembly line. Looking at it now, it really shouldn't be too bad, especially because I've been sort of running around and putting patterns and interfaces again. I see what I have, and I'm pretty sure I can just make the assembly line. I think it's very expensive at the moment, but we'll see. I'll pattern it and we'll take a look. Oh wait, I need to make quantum processor mainframes first. These need an IV circuit assembler and also extreme circuit boards, which in turn need fiber reinforced epoxy resin along with some other stuff that's easy to get. And the fiber reinforced epoxy resin I make with normal epoxy resin and borosilicate glass fibers or raw carbon fibers. I'm probably going to use the raw carbon fibers. That's really cheap and free. This shouldn't take too long. It's been a little bit, but everything is done. I have my full assembly line. Couple of things to note, I am using an IV 4 amp energy hatch, so this is not going to let me tier skip, but it is going to overclock, so things will be faster. And honestly, this wasn't that expensive. I feel like I could make more pretty easily. Some changes I made to help out with that. I've gotten rid of all my nano circuits, and I've replaced them all with the quantum ones, because they are cheaper. And I do plan to make like, I don't know, probably 8 assembly lines in total. I really don't think this mod pack needs more than that. I can probably get away with 8. Question is, where do I put them? And the answer is, I don't know, probably here. So let's do this. This kind of snuck up on me, but I feel like I'm going to be in LUV at the end of this episode. Anyway, the automation I have here for the assembly line is your classic assembly line automation, which if you've never seen it before, works a little something like this. So this is the actual interface that is going to have my patterns in it. It pushes items into this receiving dual interface. Normally, you put an advanced blocking card in here to expose the contents of the subnet to this other interface so it can block sensibly, but I don't think that card exists in this pack, so this automation might be a little jank. I might have to be a little careful with it, but we'll see. Otherwise, I'll find some other way to do some kind of detection. Anyway, the way this automation works, or the way this subnet works, is each input bus is a ULV input bus on purpose so that there's only one slot, and each one gets its own storage bus. From the front to the back, the priority on the storage bus decreases. So all the way in the front, I have it set to 0, and then -1, -2, -3. Over here, it's -10, -11, -12. So the front gets filled up before the back, which is what we want in an assembly line. And basically the same thing over here for the fluid hatches, except it's fluid storage buses. 0 priority, -1, -2, -3. So items will enter the subnet and get stored in these spots according to the priority. And so everything goes into the right spot as expected by the recipe, and everything should work. And then the output is just sent straight back into the mainnet. To do assembly line recipes though, I do need to do some scans and put the scans inside of the data access hatch. Oh, this is upside down. I didn't mention that, but I like placing this upside down because I like all the hatches being kind of below me. I don't like cranking my neck back in game to access hatches, so I like it like this. Anyway, let's get to LUV, I guess. Let's make some LUV components. This is the recipe for the motor. It does require research, as it says here. The research being an IV motor scanned onto a data stick, and that's what goes into the data access hatch, along with all of this other stuff. So samarium, HSSS, ruridit, and niobium titanium, along with soldering alloy and lubricant. And then all of the other LUV components are quite similar. Here's the conveyor, the pump, the piston, the robot arm, sensor, emitter, everything's right here. And I have access to all of these materials already. It needs the full plat line, which I have. I still need to make the rest of the multis for it, so I'll probably do that along the way. But yeah, this is all the LUV components. And the LUV energy hatch requires LUV, meaning I probably need to double hatch the assembly line to to tier skip it into LUV using 2 IV energy hatches. And that's fine. The one thing that is challenging to get here is the ludicrous voltage coils. This needs an LUV assembler, which, because I need this to make the first energy hatch, I can't just tier skip my assembler. I need to make an LUV assembler. Mildly annoying, but fine. And as for osmiridium, making the dust is either LUV mixer or LUV alloy blast melter for molten. Both of these I'm going to have to tier skip again because it's LUV crafts in either case, and I'm going to have to double up hatches to do so. And that's going to be the general process for making the new energy hatch for the rest of the game. I'm going to have to double hatch some machine, get some new material, and then I can make the actual hatch and single hatch everything if I want. Or double hatch it again for speed. Finally, last thing to mention, the LUV machine hull. This needs LUV machine casings made of rhodium-plated palladium. This is pretty easy to make. The dust is just a simple mix of rhodium and palladium, which I have plenty of. So finishing off the remaining multis here is probably a higher priority than entering LUV proper, but I may as well start crafting some LUV parts, because why not? And I may as well finish off these 2 batch crafting quests. But first, I need a scanner. And there is no multi-block variant of the scanner. There is the research station, but it doesn't operate as a scanner like it does in GTNH, so I do need a single block here. I could probably just make an IV one and call it a day. That should be fine. Got my scans done, just encoding my recipes now, and it's a little annoying that it puts the data stick in the front, so I feel like I'm going to forget at some point and it's going to clog my assembly line, but I'm glad I noticed it. Also, kind of funny, in GTNH, you don't really need to make both silicone rubber and styrene butadiene rubber, but here you do, because the pumps need silicone rubber, but the conveyors need styrene butadiene. And I don't think they're interchangeable, which I don't mind. I kind of like processing lines, so it's not an issue. In addition to all of the LUV parts, I've also made scan data sticks for LUV energy hatches and LUV dynamo hatches. Where is that? Both of these need the ludicrous voltage coils like I mentioned, so I've also double hatched my mixer, which also, by the way, means that I can go to Aurellia now, and I probably should. So maybe it's time for me to set up the Gaia Guardian arena and do the fight. Ring of Loki would be nice too. That might be something I do while these LUV parts craft. Just crafted up my red matter. And the quest reward gives me 4 more. This is one of the things I need for the Aurellia artifact. I also need a chorus flower, by the way, so I need to probably make a trip to the end really quick. But that should be pretty easy to get. I don't remember if I get the flower or the fruit or the popped fruit from the end, but whatever it is, it seems really easy to go from one to the other. I can smelt the fruit into the popped, and then I can use an alchemy catalyst and a popped fruit in a mana pool to make a chorus flower. The alchemy catalyst goes underneath the mana pool, but it's pretty easy to make. There's nothing weird here. I'm also smelting up my osmiridium. This should be done soon. I still need to craft an LUV assembler for other things, but that's an aside. Only thing left is the Gaia pylons, which are very easy to make. Need some elementium, some pixie dust, and some mana pylons. I have plenty of elementium, I have plenty of pixie dust, and mana pylons are easy to make. Almost forgot, but I need to craft a beacon for the Gaia ritual. This thing is also not too bad. It needed a shifting star, which was, yeah, totally fine. Now I have my Gaia pylons, I have my beacon, I have my Terra Steel ingot. I should be able to do the Gaia fight now. Real quick though, let's finish off these LUV batch crafting quests. Gonna craft up this LUV assembler. I'm gonna use it to make these LUV coils, which will allow me to make the LUV energy hatch and dynamo hatch. And then I've made a dummy pattern here for extreme combustion engines. This should make 4 at a time, so a quad shared. That's gonna make a lot more power than what I make right now. I'm also gonna go set up the Gaia Guardian fight. I think I'm gonna do it kind of over an ocean. There's an ocean right here. So I'm gonna use the water here as my arena so that the Gaia Guardian can't teleport anywhere except to in front of me, so I can just sit back and kill it. There's no bibliocraft in this pack, but I have an idea for a seat I can sit on so I don't get knocked around. And it's the advanced rocketry seat, so we'll see. I gotta mute the music, of course, but it is what it is. Oh, ow, ow, ow. This actually hurts a lot. Might have to leave. That was a lot more painful than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna need some regen potions or something. And also, clearly the sitting in the chair tech doesn't seem to work because it just teleports onto the water, so I don't know. Okay, let's try this again. Oh my god, that was painful. Every time I do this fight, I'm reminded that combat is not Minecraft's strong point. Let's get this artifact. Here is the Aurellia artifact. Amazing.